Dust off those bell-bottoms and crank up the lava lamp, because we are heading back to the 1970s. That's right, I've got 50 all-new questions for you, and remember to keep track of your score so that you can download one of these free certificates at the end of the video. All right, folks, it's time to get started. Here comes the ultimate 1970s quiz. Which pop group became a global sensation after winning the Eurovision Song Contest with the hit single Waterloo? The Bee Gees, Electric Light Orchestra, or ABBA? The supersonic Concorde was operated by just two commercial airlines, British Airways and Lufthansa, Air France, or American Airlines. Which female tennis player famously defeated Bobby Riggs in 1973's Battle of the Sexes? Chris Evert, Billie Jean King, or Martina Navratilova? Seen here was the world's tallest building as of the late 1970s. What is its name? The World Trade Center, the Sears Tower, or Tokyo Tower? Which pocket-sized device, launched by Sony in 1979, allowed people to listen to music on the go for the first time? The Walkman, the Betamax, or the Game Boy? Apocalypse Now, set during the Vietnam War, is considered to be one of this director's greatest films. Is it Francis Ford Coppola, Stanley Kubrick, or George Lucas? The iconic code-breaking board game seen here was invented in 1970. What is it called? Mastermind, Connect 4, or Stratego? This term referred to the thawing of relations between the United States and China during the early 1970s. Was it Mahjong conciliation, badminton détente, or ping-pong diplomacy? The stadium anthems We Will Rock You and We Are the Champions were originated by what band? Queen, Led Zeppelin, or the Rolling Stones? This aircraft, known as the Queen of the Skies, helped popularize international travel in the 1970s. Was it the Airbus A300, the McDonnell Douglas DC-10, or the Boeing 747? Which South Asian country gained independence from Pakistan after a brutal conflict in 1971? Bhutan, Nepal, or Bangladesh? This prolific author wrote several of his best-selling books in the 70s, including Carrie, The Stand, and The Shining. Was it R.L. Stine, Stephen King, or James Patterson? Enter the Dragon made this martial arts expert a household name. Was it Jackie Chan, Bruce Lee, or Jean-Claude Van Damme? Who became the United Kingdom's first female prime minister in 1979? Golda Meir, Kim Campbell, or Margaret Thatcher? Glittering hotspot Studio 54 epitomized disco excess in what world city? Paris, New York, or Los Angeles? What Swedish tennis star claimed 5 consecutive Wimbledon titles between 1976 and 1980? Mats Wilander, Stefan Edberg, or Bjorn Borg? Richard Adams's best-selling novel that follows the adventures of a band of rabbits was titled Watership Down, Bridge to Terabithia, or The Never-Ending Story? The Iranian Revolution of 1979 overthrew which monarch? Shah Pahlavi, King Faisal, or Yasser Arafat? Which of the following films was not scored by famed composer John Williams? Jaws, Star Wars: A New Hope, or The Exorcist? The world's first IVF baby, Louise Brown, was born in what country? Australia, Canada, or the United Kingdom? The classic British sitcom Fawlty Towers, about a chaotic seaside hotel, starred what comedian in the title role? Rowan Atkinson, Peter Sellers, or John Cleese? This gymnast was the first competitor to ever receive a perfect 10 at the Olympic Games. Who was it? Nadia Comaneci, Mary Lou Retton, or Olga Korbut? This deadly virus was fully eradicated in the late 1970s. Was it measles, smallpox, or polio? What Pope of the Catholic Church, elected in 1978, went on to be the third longest serving Pope of all time? John the 23rd, Benedict the Sixth, or John Paul II? The Carnation Revolution of 1974 peacefully overthrew this country's dictatorship. Was it Spain, Greece, or Portugal? Ridley Scott introduced audiences to the terrifying xenomorph in this 1979 sci-fi horror film. Was it Blade Runner, Alien, or Outland? Which East African nation was ruled for most of the decade by military strongman Idi Amin? Uganda, Tanzania, or Kenya? These shoes, with famously chunky soles, helped define popular fashion in the 70s. What were they called? Platforms, clogs, or espadrilles? Which Canadian singer-songwriter asked, "Don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you got till it's gone"? Leonard Cohen, Joni Mitchell, or Neil Young? The floppy disk was introduced in 1971. At the time, how much data could it store? 80 kilobytes, 800 kilobytes, or 8 megabytes? Which U.S. athlete captured 7 gold medals at the Munich Olympics in 1972? Mark Spitz, Greg Louganis, or Carl Lewis? Seen here is what city's landmark opera house, which opened in 1973? Rio de Janeiro, Mexico City, or Sydney? What popular arcade shooter of the day let players spin a triangular ship through fields of oncoming rocks? Galaga, Asteroids, or Defender? The Soweto Uprising was a widespread protest led by school children in what country? Namibia, Zimbabwe, or South Africa? The bittersweet finale of what American TV show drew the largest audience of all time for scripted television? MASH, Cheers, or The Brady Bunch? An ancient human skeleton discovered in Ethiopia in 1974 was considered for many years to be the earliest extant remains of our species. What was that skeleton's nickname? Audra, Mary, or Lucy? Seen here is one of the most popular home computers of the late 1970s. Was it the Apple II, the TRS-80, or the Commodore PET? The Khmer Rouge was a brutal regime that controlled what nation for most of the decade? Thailand, Cambodia, or Laos? The US launched its first long-term space station in 1973. What was it called? Skylab, Mir, or Gemini? The Thrilla in Manila was the third and final heavyweight matchup between Muhammad Ali and who? George Foreman, Joe Frazier, or Ken Norton? Volkswagen introduced some of its most popular models in the mid-70s, including this car, which was first produced in 1974. Was it the Beetle, the Touareg, or the Golf? Which of the following was not a robot in the Star Wars movies? C-3PO, HAL 9000, or R2-D2? The fall of this city in 1975 effectively marked the end of the Vietnam War. Was it Ho Chi Minh, Saigon, or Da Nang? Activists who sailed to Alaska's Amchitka Island to protest nuclear testing in 1971 founded what major environmental organization? The Sierra Club, the World Wildlife Fund, or Greenpeace? What landmark miniseries, based on a novel by Alex Haley, told the story of Kunta Kinte and his descendants? Shogun, The Duke, or Roots? The 1979 Nobel Peace Prize was awarded to what remarkable woman from Calcutta, India? Mother Teresa, Indira Gandhi, or Benazir Bhutto? Soccer star Pelé led this nation to its third consecutive World Cup victory in 1970. Was it Argentina, Brazil, or Italy? What organization started an oil embargo in 1973 that eventually led to a quadrupling of global gas prices? OPEC, the WTO, or NATO? London Calling was the rallying cry of what legendary punk band? The Clash, the Ramones, or the Pretenders? President Richard Nixon resigned from office after approving an illegal wiretapping operation at what Washington, D.C. hotel? The Ritz-Carlton, the Watergate, or the Intercontinental? Congratulations, you've now finished the quiz. Amazing work. Here's your breakdown for this week's Groovy certificates, and whatever your score, kudos to you for taking a little bit of time today to help your mind stay sharp. As always, thanks for watching, and until next time, keep reading, keep learning, and be well.